Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Signal 11 Outdoors. Today, I have a guest with me that has a product that I actually have been using for a couple of years now. We're going to get right to it. So, I'd like everybody to welcome Rob Grandchamp. Rob, how are you?
Steve, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure being here.
Cool. And for everybody who's just tuning into this and doesn't know who Rob is, Rob has a company called Gilly Puck. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about this Gilly Puck product. Obviously, Rob's going to be able to talk about it a lot better than I am, but I'm going to start out by just telling everybody I don't even know how long I had it, Rob. I'm guessing I've had it for about a year or two. Is that
Yeah, I'd say it's probably when we first linked up about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah, definitely.
right? Right. So I don't remember how I found it. And you got a heck of a social media following. I think you got like close to 20,000 people following you. So, but when I first started, and that's only on, I think, Instagram, but when I
Yeah.
first found your product, and we're going to get into it. And then when I put this video out, we'll have pictures and stuff up. And we're going to cover where they can find it and where they can follow it. But the reason why I was kind of attracted to this product right away is I do a lot of mobile hunting. I'm going to really get into, there's a whole mobile hunting group out there that, uses saddles and all this shit. But I'm more of like a ground hunter, sit on a bucket hunter. And I saw this product called Gilly Puck, right? I don't own a ghillie suit, never had one, but definitely can appreciate the guys that do use them. It might be my future.
Absolutely.
But what I noticed is it's something that is easy to break down, easy to carry, lightweight. And this is even before I had it in my hands. And I had an idea of probably about 5 different things that I thought I could do with it. And I have done those and then
Yeah.
some. So I reached out to Rob. I guess you'd call like a summer set of camo or leaves and a fall set. And they're actually right now in the woods because I use them throughout the year for different seasons, and it's just a fantastic product. You do not have to be a mobile hunter to use it at all, but that's how I came to meet Rob. So, Rob, we're going to talk about Gilly Puck. If you don't mind, let's start out real quick. I think more important in Gilly Puck is, am I correct that you served the country?
Yes, I was in the Marine Corps.
Awesome, man. Thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, that's actually that's these days and the last days and my father's days and all those. That's that precedes everything as far as importance goes. So that's number
Oh, I
one.
really, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. We would definitely really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
appreciate it. And like so many people, we're always happy to patronize a company that is owned by a veteran. It's awesome. So, with that being said, Rob, if you want to start out, we want to keep everybody's attention right away because you got a really interesting product. So, if you don't mind, let's jump into the concept of the Gilly Puck, and basically what it's used for. That's really what we're going to talk about for the next few minutes that we're doing it. So, if you want to take it, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So what Gilly Puck is essentially, at the essence of it, it's the very first tree to ground completely camouflageable device. It's shaped as an octagon. We do have plans in the future to send out different types and stuff, but as of right now, it's shaped as an octagon to give the user up to 8 options around the side. Now, not all options are required to. I usually run 4 to 6 when I'm in the tree, but the essence of it is to break up your silhouette to be able to use a backdrop, or if you're on the ground, to be able to use as concealment. And it really is designed to just break up your silhouette. That's to give the hunter a natural camouflage. So a big issue that I found, coming into the hunting world, I got out of just to give you a little background of if you don't mind, how I got into this, and
Sure.
kind of it'll lead you up to where the idea came from. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2018, I was hunting by myself. I knew I wanted to get out and start hunting, so I think the day I landed, I went and got a bow. Maybe even before seeing my wife after being away for 3 years. But so went got myself a bow, and yeah, had a couple months to kind of adjust back in, and that's kind of where I kind of refound myself in the woods there. So problem I had, and not growing up. I grew up with friends who hunted, but I didn't have any direct friends I went hunted with growing up. I mean, I always took interest in outdoors, grew up in the outdoors, but just didn't have a lot of friends um, that were big hunters or my immediate friends. We were a lot into sports. So I didn't really have anybody to, for say, show me the ropes, but I did have a military background. I was with Third Recon over in Okinawa, Bravo Company, so I was familiar with the importance of camouflage, breakup, concealment to those degrees. Um, so what I wanted to do is implement something from my background and kind of see if if it would help me at all. So essentially, I started. I didn't get much luck my first year, second year. I had this a patch of woods. It was about a 5 acre parcel. The doe were coming down every day. They'd look up. The only thing that were in there were telephone poles for trees, and so they'd come right down this hill. We'd be eye level. They'd blow me out of the woods, and that'd be my hunt. And so one day I went home and I started taking these branches and the problem with the real branches that I was cutting down is they were dying. I was replacing them 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up in my stand and I'm dealing with dead branches. And I'm like, this is so loud. This is the most ineffective way. And I'm like, what is a way what is a way that essentially I could do this as tactical, effective, and quick as possible without having to, search for branches or clip the right thing. Pruning's legal in most public lands. So that was also a problem I was facing as far as locations to hunt. So when I ended up developing this mechanism, I threw it up on the tree for the first time, the prototype, and next day a couple deer come down the hill and they kind of looked up for a second and then they went right back down and walked right underneath me. I was like, this might be something here. So. And that was the birth of Gilly Puck, and I started telling a couple buddies about it. They're like, "Oh, wow, I think I could really use that." And one thing led to another. I went through the patent process and took a chance during COVID, and out came, the very first tree to ground camouflage device system that can be
Right.
customized to any setting and any season.
Did you get a utility patent or a design patent on that, or?
Yeah, so I got the utility patent on the puck. So I'm still not even fully familiarized with all the verbiage.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
yeah. Every time I talk to the poor lawyer about it, and I'm like nodding. He's like, you don't
Yeah.
understand a word I said. I'm like, yeah,
If he's doing your patents, he's not a poor lawyer.
that's it. That's
Because
it.
it's really difficult. That whole process alone has nothing to do with. I'm involved in processes like that. It's not easy. But
Yeah,
no matter what, I mean, I want to just listen to what you said there. I kind of had an idea that's how you got to where you're at. I mean, it makes sense knowing that you served and how important the whole covert or camouflage and all of that, how it all leads in the field you were in, obviously relates to hunting as well. And you mentioned something about your friends saying that they could probably use it. I'll tell you what, I would be able. I can honestly tell you, everybody who hunts could use it at some point. You could definitely use this system for so many different things that at some point everybody would use it. I think I remember talking to you a while back. I've used it. Right now, it's sitting out for turkey hunting. I have it sitting out between two blowdowns.
yeah,
It's out right now.
yeah,
I was behind it today and a couple days ago, 2 days ago when I was out. So what I use it for is I use it as front camouflage,
yeah.
and because you can adjust the foliage and everything, I have it set where if I'm going to shoot it depends if I'm with the gun or the bow, but the spot it's at now is a bow spot. So I have it set where I can be sitting on a bucket, be completely camouflaged from the front. Now I'm wearing camo too, but the
Right.
3D effect of having your Gilly Puck out front on kind of like a tripod stand, I guess it is.
Yeah,
And you could have it as wide or as narrow as you want. And I have
yeah,
it set up where I could shoot without really moving my head too much or any parts of my body. But I have a lane. So instead of cutting a lane,
yeah,
I just bend it, and I have a perfect lane set up. I'm going to put some pictures up of decoys and stuff and that setup. I also use it. I don't do a lot of ground blind hunting, but I have used it in ground blinds. Um,
yeah,
the reason why is when I ground blind hunt, I leave my front windows open all the time so they get used to it. Usually I only leave one window open, but I take the Gilly Puck on that same tripod setup and I put it inside the ground blind, and it's inside of the black open window. So
Yeah.
you know now you no longer have just a black open window. And then when I get in there, I could adjust it a couple inches to the right or left depending on where I want to sit, and it doesn't really change the view from outside much. Me and my son have tested it,
Yeah.
and I can see so much better than trying to look through a screen, and I can get a shot without really even moving the Gilly Puck setup. And if I
Yeah.
have to move it, I can move that thing silent an inch or 2 inches one way or the other. I also looked on. I have my phone right here. I was looking at your Instagram. There's pictures of some of my setups on there where I've had tree
Oh
seats
yeah.
um, low. I hunt a lot of hillsides, tree seats, or I should say hang-ons, only about 3 feet off the ground, so I could step in them quietly
Yeah.
and stand or sit, have a platform, and I have the backdrop of the tree behind me. I have the Gilly Puck in some setups behind me to
Yeah.
break up my silhouette, and in some setups, I have it in front of me. So
Yeah.
it's super versatile, and I think everybody really could find a use for it. I didn't even get into the tree stand part, but
Yeah. No,
you can.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I
Yeah,
love it.
Steve, you were one of the pioneers of the exploring the different options when we were first talking, and
Really.
that's what I really wanted to push upon people, and that's why I try to express is that. And the phrase I always use is, "I'm giving you the hammer, you build the house." This is just a tool to keep in your tool bag. This isn't gonna solve all your hunting problems. This isn't gonna, do anything. It's just it's an asset to have. If you want a little extra breakup, you still have to do your due diligence and tell everybody that, but it's helped me. And again, the real essence of it is to just provide some breakup where there may not be some. Essentially, at the end of the day, uh, that's what we're all looking for, whether we're on the ground or in the wood, up in a tree, is just some form of breakup. And
Right.
unfortunately, with a lot of people, with like set ladder stands that aren't familiar with climbers per se, don't realize that the trees that are optimal for climbing on a climber, they essentially have to be a telephone pole.
Right.
So this, my vision for this was to stop people from missing opportunities. If there was per se a highway with a buck or a doe or a turkey run going across, but there's no optimal coverage, trees, bushes, just nothing to conceal yourself or to break up your silhouette. I wanted something that could give even the most amateur all the way up to the most tenured hunters an opportunity to maybe it closes that gap from when the time they get in the woods to the time they harvest their turkey, their deer, duck, waterfowl. When you have it clipped to we've had people clip them to their boat side of their boats. We've had people clip them
Yeah.
to saplings in the swamp above their head just to cover over their head.
Mhm.
Again, you can shoot right through them. It's beautiful for that aspect. But the main goal is it if you could minimize the time that you're there, maybe you can get home to your family. Maybe there's you can get on the wife's good side a little bit too.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, I'll be home. I got a buck early this morning, so
Yeah.
that's the if it can give somebody an opportunity to, whether it's a father and a son. And that was another thing I kept in. I didn't have kids at the time, but I was super fidgety, just being new and just looking around at everything. So I settled down relatively quickly. Again, just previous training, but I could see definitely for sure having a kid be in the stand with you, and a father wanting to take, or a mother even wanting to take their son or daughter out. And kids don't like to stay still, but so if this provides them that protection to maybe not get busted and gets that first kid of first harvest, and that creates a memory, I mean that I'm good with that right there. That's my goal.
That's that is so important to so many people out there that they could definitely utilize your product to help them, help the first. Doesn't even have to be a kid; it could be an adult getting their first animal,
Absolutely.
their first deer or whatever. I got to tell you real quick because again, your social media is cool. I mean, you got really some really good examples of how people can use it, and I think that sometimes people see certain things on social media and somebody will be showing off a product and yours is a little different because yours is kind of captivating because it's like a lot of times you'll see the person wearing the new camo, and they'll be standing on their lock on, and they'll pan back, and it's, wow, that guy disappeared, from 50 yards away. Yeah, he disappeared.
Yeah.
But the thing about your product is some of your footage that you actually have on your Facebook. I don't know if you have Facebook, on your Instagram.
Yeah.
On your social media, it's cool because you do like some quick moves and just change the scenery with the product you have. Some of the stuff is actually really up close, and I take a lot of photos like that to show people your product.
Yeah.
Like I take pictures at 20 yards and put your product in there, and my bucket that I sit on disappears. I mean,
Yeah.
so your product, it's different than a lot of stuff that's out there. The other thing is the mobile aspect, or the ease of using it in a tree stand or a hang-on or a saddle. I mean, I have had multiple surgeries, so I was a ground hunter a lot
Yeah.
because of the surgeries. I've literally hunted on crutches. My friends would carry my stuff out to the field. I would sit on a 5-gallon bucket, and that's kind of how I hunted and shot a lot of animals over the years. And I tell you what, I've grown to love the mobility. I mean, I'll look at a spot, and I look to the left, look to the right. I kind of know where the predominant winds are. I look for areas where I can possibly ground hunt from. And all
Yeah.
I do is I take a bucket, no lid on it. I put the limbs, the tripod, the puck, the octagon puck. There's a strap with it. Pretty much everything that you have, or everything that I have of yours, goes in a bucket. I take my backpack. I jam my backpack in there. I have a quiver mount on the outside of my 5-gallon bucket to hold my quiver.
Nice. Smart.
And if I'm going with the crossbow, I throw it over my shoulder with a sling. I carry that bucket in. I kind of know where I'm going, play the wind, take everything out, set it up real quick. Takes 2 minutes. Flip the bucket over. I spray painted it somewhat camo,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I have shot more deer like that than I could tell you. More than I've, over the years, probably more than I've shot out of a ladder stand or a hang on. I don't even use hang ons anymore. I have some
Yeah.
permanent ladders, and I go mobile. Once in a while, a ground blind, and I'm going to do a whole video on these pallet blinds that I make, and I
Oh, that's
use
awesome.
your. Yeah, I make pallet blinds, and I replace them every couple of years, and I make them where, depending on the wind, I could sit one side or the other. And that bucket with your product, the Gilly Puck, in there, I only need 2 to 3 pallets. I can leave one side open. I take the Gilly Puck. I got that for the opening. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you
No,
got a
appreciate
clip-on
it.
mechanism. That clip-on
Yeah.
mechanism, the puck goes on there. It grabs, I don't even know how thick a pallet is. I'm guessing it's like 3/4 pine, unless you can get an oak pallet.
Probably.
That clips right on there. You can adjust everything. You could have your head above the pallet with the Gilly Puck up. You can see the deer coming from as far as you can see away. They'll never know you're there. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's see, this is exciting to hear. It's I love hearing the success stories. Especially, I wasn't able to get out that much this season. I jacked up the ankle pretty good. So my season was pretty much a wash this year, but it's awesome to hear when I just, I mean, it's why we do it, right? I mean, it's
yeah,
when you hear somebody, you
100%.
can get positive feedback, the success stories, you're like, okay, it's late nights,
Yeah,
early mornings, it's all worth it. So it really
it
is
is.
awesome.
I mean, me doing what I do with the deer lure, exactly what you said. It's worth, it's more valuable to me, and I'm sure to you, than any kind of dollars you can make on it, because
Absolutely.
it's not really a moneymaker. In the end, you're investing so much of your time, your effort, your own money
Right.
into it. But the guy that gives you the story, like, hey, I shot that, I shot the buck of a lifetime using your scent or using the Gilly Puck, and I couldn't sit in my ladder because of the way they decided to come in for the last week. So instead of moving a ladder, I just used the Gilly Puck and shift it over. I'm sure you hear those stories, and
Yeah.
they are more valuable than any amount of money that you could get from it, because this is why we both got into this, because we love it.
That's it. That's it. No, I mean there really is no other reason. I mean there really is kind of no other reason. Otherwise, you don't do the late nights and unless you really do love it. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some people do it for the monetary aspect of it, but I don't think that alone is enough to keep somebody to
Yeah,
through the social media and all the, all the comments and chatter and all
I
that
know.
stuff. But when you hear a success story, it all goes
Yeah,
away. The noise is canceled. It's awesome. It's like you're back in the woods right there, like kind of reliving it with them. And that's, yeah, it's something magical. There really is no other explanation other than it's a type of magic that consumes you when you hear a story like that, you hear something like that. That's
I
why we did
I
this,
gotta
right?
agree with you. I agree
Yeah,
100%. Something else we really should tell people is uh, the setup or the system. It's really a system what you have. It's
right.
very, very what's the word? It's versatile. There's no doubt it's versatile. I mean, but the way you have it set up with the puck, which is basically the core of the whole thing. I mean,
Right.
the puck really doesn't provide any camo, but everything that comes off of it provides the camo. But
Exactly.
between the puck and the way you have the limbs set up and the way they come on and off in a second, you could use as many limbs that look like the thicker part of a branch as you want, and then you just slide in the actual camo
Right.
flexible leaf uh, branches. It's such a good system. It breaks down good, easy to set up. It stays up pretty damn well in the crazy winds. But there's so much customization that you can make with it, including how many different sets of leaves do you guys have now?
I think we're at 14 right now. And oh, excuse me. I think we're at 16 right now. Sorry. We're gonna phase some out, phase some in. We're gonna do some
Mhm.
specials. Yeah, but we just created called our Dead Oak. That was our newest release, and Rustic Oak, Rusted Oak, and those are our two new releases for the 24-20, potentially 25 season. We'll see what this season brings.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna try to do new releases. We're gonna nail it down and give as many people the option to. I really do want to create an experience, not even just an experience for every person that I possibly can. So if again,
Yeah.
if they're able to find a leaf that matches their terrain or a branch that matches their terrain, or to utilize it in a way, another being coming from the veteran community. A lot of disabled veterans. I know they have hunting programs and stuff like that. Even being able to attach it to things like a wheelchair, anything with a quarter 20 thread is the. I tried to make it as versatile and user friendly as possible. I don't want you to buy all the things from me. I want you, if you have camera stuff, use that. Like I want it to genuinely help people. I want it to be to be as user friendly. And so things are expensive now, and I know we're at a price point where it's right up there, but I try to provide customer service too, and if there's everything that goes wrong on my end, like that's what we're here for. We're family owned. We're here to make your experience better too. So always reach out to us. We're very personal, very friendly.
And the other thing that you have to mention is nothing. No part of the system is cumbersome. No part of the system is heavy. Um, I mean, you can put everything in a backpack and
Yeah,
travel. I think there's even I think people are actually strapping that puck to their body, right? To
yeah,
did I
oh
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, one of the ways I run it when I'm turkey hunting is I clip so I use the center plug system. So to kind of back to what the puck is, it's a two-part system for the puck itself. It's got a center system that slides in the middle of it, and it has a quarter 20 thread, which allows the puck itself to fasten and screw onto any of your camera mount accessories and such. Um, so I had the ball head clamp with the center plug piece and the four limbs on my back, and I would just take that when I'm running gunning for turkey, and I quickly just unclamp it, sit in the base of a tree, put it right down in front of me, and bend the leaves back. Now my whole lower half's covered. Turkey starts, snake
Gotcha.
Tom starts going off the other way, pick her up, clip her right to the back of me. And it kind of duels as a fan too. So I mean, if worst case scenario that turkey came, I'd probably squat down and act like a turkey. I mean,
Yeah,
You know,
that's pretty cool.
that would be my oh crap moment.
Yeah,
But
yeah, well, that's cool. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that's what you're doing. You're clipping it on because I have that clip.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's cool. And there's a video on your page, and everybody we're gonna before before we get to the end of this, we got to make sure we cover all your social media.
I
People
appreciate
have
it.
to go on there and look at that video where I think I asked you. You have it clipped to like an arm that moves. So the guy's I think in a ladder stand, and then
Yeah,
he like brings it close. I mean, it's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so cool. There's so much you could do with it, and it really could use it for every season of hunting, whatever the hell you're doing. And I only own the green leaves. I think I have like green oak leaves and then like fall color, and that's all I really need. But I mean, if you got 15 or 16 different leaves and all, I mean, people could really mix and match whatever they need for the seasons in the area they're hunting.
yeah, absolutely. And we do a lot of hardwood colors. So if there's, and we take suggestions too. If there's anything that anybody, you know, really wants to see, we'll make it happen. That's no problem
Gotcha.
at all. Again, I want to customize as much as I want to customize this Gilly Puck. Want you to be able to customize it to your hunt too. So yeah, any
Right.
leaves or any type of branch that, you know, people are looking for, we can make it happen. It's
Yeah.
adaptable. It's what it's meant to do.
And you know something you mentioned some people clipping it above their head. If you're broken up from the front or from the back or
Yep.
above you, it helps tremendously. It gives the deer, especially if it's something that you leave up, if you're elevated. And let's say you have a ladder stand, you have that Gilly Puck strapped to the tree, and you leave it up there, and then you get in there with a similar camo that matches. I mean, you really do disappear. But what I want to mess around with a little more this year, what I did is I have a couple ladders that I leave up all the time, and I don't really move them because they're in the right spots. Very, you know, I can't overhunt them. Some of them get sat in once a year. Some of them get sat in maybe 5 times a year. Those are the ladders I leave up. Other than that, I'm pretty much ground hunting, and I use your product in different seats. But what I did is every time I messed around with some kind of roof or not really a roof, but any kind of covering over the top of me,
Yeah.
to give me some shadow, to put my face in a shadow a little bit. I've used everything from, believe it or not, the stuff that you could buy, which has camo and metal frames, to umbrellas that people use on their picnic tables. I got pictures of umbrellas that I was cutting out one V of the umbrella, putting the whole umbrella up in the tree. The bottom was spray. I'd buy a brown umbrella,
Yeah.
spray paint it black a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'd strap it to the tree, and it would last a while. But what I'm going to do now is I kept a couple of these metal frames I've had that the camo and everything else on top of them fell apart. And I'm going to use those clips. I'm going to use your foliage of the Gilly Puck, and I'm going to actually clip it to the metal frames. The metal frames are just frames. It could snow. It could do it. It's never going to
Yeah.
fall anymore.
That's
And then
it.
the Gilly Puck, I can climb up there. Now the difference is when I clip that, now I could have some canopy over me inches from my head. Whether
Yeah.
I'm standing and it's inches so I could draw back, or if I'm using a gun, it could be inches above my head sitting. And then when I'm done, or if it's going to get bad weather, I can unclip them and take them home with me and just leave the frame up. So that's something else I haven't done yet, but I have the frame. I'm looking outside my house right now. The frame's in my backyard. It's getting put up on a tree, and it's going to be empty until I go to hunt. I'm going to take the Gilly Puck and clip it on there, and that's going to be my shadowing and my leafy camo above my head.
That's outstanding. Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
That's some ingenuity right there. I like it.
yeah. And you know what, Rob? As we're talking, there's good. When I put this up, I'll have photos and stuff popping up for
Oh,
people,
cool, cool. Yeah.
and we're going to talk about where they can find you and how they can order it now. But that'll all be up, so it's not like it's going to be 30 minutes of everybody going, "Where do I buy this thing?" In the first 5 minutes, you'll have picture. I'll put because you got some great pictures, and it's a cool
Thank
product.
you.
And I'm going to tell people again because I sound like a broken record.
No, no, you're
Make sure you get to Rob's Instagram. Make sure you get to his Facebook, whatever. Check it out. And even if you don't buy it right away, keep it in the back of your mind because I'm telling you, you're going to be hunting this season. You're going to go, you know what? If I had that damn thing right now, it'd be perfect. I mean, I went turkey hunting the other day without it at a farm that somebody invited me to, and I'm invited there, so I don't want to. I didn't want to just walk in with everything. So I
oh yeah.
basically went in. I said, wherever you want to put me, put me. And I kept a pair of clippers in my pocket, and
Yeah.
he stuck me in like a hedgerow, and I had to use the clippers just to clear a little bit to get a shot.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was thinking, man, if I had that Gilly Puck, I could have did exactly what I did, and then I could have put that thing right in front of me,
Yeah.
and that gives me everything that doesn't need to be accessible to make the shot is covered. And
Yeah.
then I can easily bend the branches, and I can still get my shot where I'm comfortable with the gun or the bow. But because I was invited there, I didn't want to walk in with everything, including the kitchen
Yeah.
sink. So, but that
I
product
hear you.
could always be packed with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're working on a coming out. I believe this year we're going to roll out with a mobile transporting, um, packaging for it. So a sleeve, if you will. So
Hmm.
yeah, we're super excited to be rolling that out this year. But no,
Cool.
that's awesome. I like to also, if there are small branches on the tree, not on public land, but if there are small branches on the tree that are kind of in the way, I clip them out of the way. And that's the beauty of the Gilly Puck is you don't permanently always want the branch out of the way because it's almost better to underexpose, obviously, than overexpose. Then you're just out there, camouflage doesn't do anything against the blue sky. Um, so what I'll do a lot of times is I'll take back some of the tree that I'm on, and then I'll put up the Gilly Puck. Some way I can again, bend it to the perfect. If I know something's coming there, and I only need this big of a window to turn my bow, and I don't have to leave myself permanently exposed. Which happens a lot with people when they over prune for shooting lanes, and they end up cutting too much, and then they're up there looking like a sore thumb. Looking like
Right.
just a big human in a tree.
Yeah, another aspect that I don't do, which is these guys who self-film and stuff, and I give them so much credit because I have trouble just hunting.
Yeah.
But these guys are self-filming and everything. But I noticed a couple guys are using like these stakes and stuff where they'll put a stake in the ground
Yeah.
that's made from these different companies to hold a GoPro, and then they'll remotely turn them on and get some badass footage of,
That's cool.
I just watched the guy from Timberlife Outdoor, Brian. He has footage of this buck coming in, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, it's like with a turkey, it's a little easier. They're not really they don't they're not suspect of stuff like that
Right,
if it's
right.
5 feet away from the decoy. But like with a buck, you can implement the Gilly Puck uh, without, just with the tripod setup, and you could have a camera arm stuck in the ground, and the camera will have a full clear view of what you're looking to film, and that Gilly Puck will just like today. I put a camera up in a tree, and I grab branches from the back, and I put branches on the back of the tree, and that's something that's going to be on that tree forever. So I'm not going to use a Gilly Puck because that's for me to
Yeah.
use.
No,
Uh,
absolutely.
but for these guys that are going to put a stake in the ground because they're expecting to shoot a buck that's coming down a run,
Yeah.
maybe 10 yards off, they got the GoPro on the stake with the Gilly Puck there. They're not going to even see the camera.
Yeah. No, it's that's the again, that's the goal, just the most natural blind that you could do. Perfect example with the buck coming in is that you're in their home, they get a little weary if something's not and if you only have a week of the year, and some people don't have the time to get out there and prep and do all that and get their blinds out there if they get a new blind that year, or if you just buy a new blind, you put it out there. It's going to take the deer a little bit of time to adjust, and they might
Right.
travel 50 feet, on a different path, and now that's your whole season right there because you disturbed their main course, and now they
Yeah.
diverted a little bit, and so something just a little bit more natural was more appealing to me, and that's not to discredit blinds. Obviously, everything holds its purpose. The Gilly Puck doesn't contain scent like a blind would. So there
Mm.
are many. It's just a tool. It's meant to be
Mhm.
tool. It's meant to be a tool to look like a natural camouflage, to be able to bring it wherever you go and quickly switch out to just blend into any environment that you
Right.
choose to hunt in. So yeah.
Right, right. Okay, cool, man. Well, listen, let's let everybody know. Let's let everybody know where they can look at it, where they can buy it. Is everything in stock? I mean, let us give us all the details.
Yeah, absolutely. We are fully in stock. You can find us on any of our social media pages. We have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think we have a total of 60,000 over the platform. So we're on all of
Nice.
them. YouTube. And yeah, if you go to gillypuck.com, that's where you can find all of our all of our products and testimonials. And our Instagram, we have all of our pictures. TikTok, we're displaying a little bit more of the video aspect and how it's used. Instagram's a little bit more of user friendly, so that way you can kind of see pictures and how to implement it and stuff like that. So
All right.
yeah, and always
Hey,
reach out if you have any ideas too. We we want to make it work for everybody. Like I said, I want to give you the hammer, and I want to see what kind of house you build with it. That
yeah.
excites me, is people getting creative with it, like you did, Steve. That's awesome. The
Yeah.
stuff you sent me with the blind and the inside of the blind, that's incredible
Yeah.
stuff right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. It's really cool. And where are you guys based out of?
Yeah, so we're out of New York actually. So we're out of Dutchess County, New York. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of right on like the Connecticut, Massachusetts. It's like about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes north of the city.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. That's good hunting country.
Yeah, I think I had maybe 15 deer walk through the neighbor's yard a little ways down not too long ago. Just counting the days.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you before we go, my
Yeah, no,
first day, what's that?
no. Yeah, absolutely. Go.
Oh, my first day sitting out with it this year. I told you I'm in between a couple blowdowns, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna post some pictures. But what was cool is I had probably, and it hurt my turkey hunting actually, but I had probably seven to nine doe. Well, 7 to 9 deer, and right now
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no antler, so you can't tell. But they
Right,
actually look like doe. They look like doe to me. At least two of them look like they had bellies on them. So,
right.
but they were so close to me that I just didn't want them. I kind of wanted them out of there. I didn't want to run around blowing, because it's turkeys. I'm not
Right,
scent free right now.
right.
I'm not scent
Exactly.
free.
Yeah,
So I was trying to like just move a little bit to get them to
right.
get a little
Get
skittish
out of there.
and just go. They actually kept coming closer and closer, and they were looking. And the only way I actually got them to go, two of them got behind me, and I mean, this time of year, I probably had on, the clothes probably had bounce dryer sheets last night, because I'm not worried about scent. They got behind me, caught some wind, and they blasted out of there. And luckily, the other ones followed. But the ones that were coming in from the front of me, 'cause the only way to see me is because there's blowdowns on both sides of me. They they had to come toward the Gilly Puck,
Yeah,
and they literally came closer and closer and closer. And I didn't look at the footage yet, but I had a GoPro out on a log, and I got to see if I got that footage. I took photos afterwards, but
yeah,
they were just, because you really could that's about as much as you could see of me. And then I had a shooting arm open where I could shoot because I'm righty.
yeah,
But yeah, those deer kept coming closer and closer and looking and stiff legs and looking. It was
yeah,
pretty wild. But
yeah.
eventually they caught my wind and blasted. So, but it was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, and that's what I tell people too. I'm like, make sure you do your due diligence. This isn't block and scent, right? This isn't the miracle cure
No,
to hunting. So you gotta play the winds. You gotta have your scent lures. You gotta have all that in there. So it's just
yeah,
another tool for
yeah,
the toolbox. Yeah, absolutely. And one of our most
it
viral,
is.
actually our very first viral video, which kind of set the company to what it is today. I was up in a doe bedding area, where I thought I'd seen some does bedded down, a little sign. It was turkeys had got up there too, so kind of scratched that made it a little difficult. But the some doe bedding on them, maybe only 15 feet. These are small trees, so I'm only about 15 feet up in the tree, and I had my climber, and I hooked it up to the base of the tree, and I had one behind me, or excuse me, the base of my climber. I usually hook it up right by my toes, the centerpiece with the clamp, so the center plug
Yep.
piece with the short limb. I put 4 branches in that, put that right in the front, cover my lower half, and I have the puck strapped to the tree behind me. I had about four, I think two up on both sides there. So that would be the 8 branches I brought with me, and I think I think the video only shows either 11 or 13 deer. I can't remember. It was the biggest herd of deer
Yeah.
I've ever seen, and they just came and bedded down right below me. But there was, I think, 17 total, 15 or 17 total. There was a whole other section off to my right, and I'm like, there's no way anybody's gonna believe me, if I don't get this on video. So, I was filming, I was going like this, and there was a deer. I couldn't, if I moved my hand to the left and dropped my phone, it would have landed on her head. I mean,
Yeah.
she sat right there. The mother, there wasn't any suspicion. They looked up, they kept moving, laid down right next to the tree, and I was like, this is cool. I'm like, this, like, it just,
Yeah.
seeing it work for to that scale in that many eyes. I've never had that. I've never seen that many deer at once.
Right.
While
Right.
hunting, not obviously drawn by Bigfoot, but while hunting, that many deer, to have them come within a yard of the tree you're in, and most of them within inside of 10 yards, and to be able to just move my hand around while holding the bow and film everything, and not, get busted or blown out of there. That to me was, I was like, okay, this is, at that point, I didn't care what anyone else said. I'm like, this is it. This is as good a thing going on here.
That footage is awesome, and you got plenty of stuff like that on your
Yeah,
site. So we're gonna get everybody to check it out.
awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Concealment product, packable, lightweight, not expensive, versatile beyond belief, and like Rob said, sky's the limit. You come up with some ideas. It's really something that I think most hunters probably should get a setup. Whatever setup, I like the tripod setup and everything that goes with it.
Yeah.
You will use it. People will use it for many different aspects of hunting. All right, Rob, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Everybody get to gillypuck.com.
GillyPuck.com.
Get to
Awesome.
gillypuck.com. Check out the videos. And I'm going to be doing a mobile hunting video, and that will definitely be on there. And this video that we're about to wrap up is going to have photos from me, photos that you have on your site. We'll put them
Awesome.
up there so people, as we're talking, people can really see the different ideas that other people have done. So, and listen, you're a small business, man. Everybody's got to support the
Yeah,
small business,
I appreciate
veteran
it.
owned, and most of all, again, thanks for your service to the country. Everything about you is awesome. You got something great going on here. So we're looking to get the word out as much as possible.
Steve, I really appreciate that. And like I said, thank you for being a huge supporter from the beginning of this thing. And thank you for having me on tonight. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Rob. All right, everybody. Get over to gillypuck.com. Check it out. If you have any questions, reach out to Rob. He will answer them personally, and you will. This will help make you a more successful hunter. I know it will. So, all right,
Thank you.
Rob. Thanks. We're gonna have you on again. Maybe as we get closer to the deer season, because
Oh, I'd love to be back here.
we're in May right now. But as we get closer, maybe we'll have you on and we'll talk about some tactics and stuff.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. Take care, Rob.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Steve. We'll catch you soon. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye now.
All right, bye.
At this time, we'd like to thank our supporters and sponsors. Signal 11 Lures, Lip Glue, New Jersey Multi-Species Podcast, Sever Broadheads, Jersey Fluke Bellies, Favorite Fishing Rods, Timberlife Outdoors, and Buck Knives. If you enjoy the content on our podcast, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications. And please tune back in for our next episode. Thank you.